Hello replay viewers, and welcome everyone else. So this is hey April, this is Pure Food Fridays. Screen, hi. Let me move this around this way. How's everybody? Mary Royal. Hey there. So we're going to be doing two recipes today because I am not going to be doing Pure Foods Fridays next Friday because my children and grandchildren are taking me away for a long weekend for Mother's Day. I'm good. So we'll see how doing two recipes, that's a lot, but they go together. So, and they're all happening around the stove area. Oh, yeah, because we don't have Catch anymore now, catching our scopes. I was able to transfer the ones that were already on Catch over to YouTube. Hi, Teresa. Thank you, Begin Again Jen, for inviting followers. Who is saying, oh, hi there, Grace. So, oh, cool. Finding Mimi, you found my YouTube videos. Thank you, A. Mills, for inviting followers. I'm sorry I don't remember your name. I want to say Allie Mills because I just had dinner with Allie the other night. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, CBTX, for inviting followers. So we're going to cook Amy, okay, I'll do my best. I've never been, I'm one of those people, not really great remembering people's names even when they're right in front of me. So, my name's Mahala McKellar. I am still working on my cookbook title. I am the mother of Danica McKellar and Crystal McKellar. They were both on the Wonder Years. And I'm a meditation teacher certified by Dr. Deepak Chopra. And I've been interested in healthy food for more than 40 years. So today we're going to do a meatloaf that is gluten-free. And it's filled with healthy vegetables too. It's made with meat, with beef, and there's lots of healthy vegetables. So if you're looking for a way to get someone who doesn't like to eat vegetables to eat vegetables, this is one way to do it. And then we're also going to do some, yes, pasture-raised, pasture-finished, organic, grass-fed beef. So let me stir this over here. I got this started so the scope wouldn't have to be, like an hour long or something. So we're going to start with the meatloaf. Is everyone ready? We're making gluten-free veggie-filled meatloaf and roasted root vegetables. Thank you. This was actually one of my mother's favorite blouses. And I decided to wear it today. So what I did before we started was I took 3/4 of a cup of organic rolled oats, and if you want this to be absolutely gluten-free, then you get that's labeled gluten-free. That means it wasn't processed in a plant where there was gluten, because oats themselves don't have gluten. And I put it in a food processor, and I ground them up, not into flour, if you can see the consistency, if I bring it up to the camera. But it's small pieces, like when you see instant oats, except these haven't been processed to be instant oats. They're just ground. So I did that. That was 3/4 of a cup of rolled oats, and I will post the recipe later. And then I took, in the same food processor, so you don't have to, exactly, this is the consistency of breadcrumbs. So you don't have to clean out the food processor. I'm pointing that way because that's, let me tilt this way, that's where it is. And in the food processor, I took about a cup's worth of an onion, I just quartered the onion, and 4 ounces of mushrooms. Any kind of mushrooms will work. I used shiitake today because there were some really great looking ones at the store. You can use portobello, you can use button mushrooms, but 4 ounces of mushrooms, and I put them in the processor and took them to the point of being mush. And that's what's in my pan. Let me get a pot holder here so I can show you what's in the pan. So you see, it kind of looks like mush. We want all the vegetables to be very, very fine so that they blend with the meat and you don't notice them, right? Then you don't notice them. Then it's just like you're eating meat and there's this other delicious moist flavor mixed in. And I've also preheated the oven to 350. So that's getting ready. All right. So, oh, and then I put 2 tablespoons. I used ghee today. I don't think it would work so well in a blender. It's too much to do in the blender. And it might just come out like water instead of very finely minced. You can try it though. See what happens. So I used 2 tablespoons of oil. I did ghee. You could do coconut oil or a good, high heat oil. And I sauteed this until the moisture is gone, which took about 7 or 8 minutes. And now to that, I am going to add, let me see, where am I here? I am going to add 1 carrot, a clove of garlic, a broccoli top, and an average size, like a zucchini, about 6 inches. And they're going to go into the food processor, just like the other vegetables did. Because I want this also to be very fine, very finely chopped. All right. So there it goes. Oh, I was going to show you almost. So the carrot was about this big, and then just the top of the broccoli, an average, good-sized broccoli stalk. All right, this is looking good. Oh yeah. And I'll show this to you. You see? Hello, everyone. Okay. So we're going to add that, all of this, to the pan. Get my other spatula here. So we add this to the pan. Mix it up good. Meatloaf. Yes, we are doing meatloaf. I found this recipe a couple years ago. The basic recipe that this recipe came from. And then it was actually at Danica's request because Draco loved my meatloaf so much. She said, "Can you add even more vegetables to it?" And I'm like, "Sure. Why not?" So then I added, I think it already had the carrot and the onion and the garlic and the mushrooms, and then I added the zucchini and the broccoli. So we cooked this, give it a little more heat for a couple of minutes. And while that's cooking, I want to talk to you about garlic, which I believe I've done before. But just to remind you, when you get your garlic, you want it to have roots. You see that? You don't want it to you don't want to buy the garlic that's scooped out, so you don't see any evidence of roots. And also, you see the color of this. It's a sort of a, soft beigey kind of white. It's not real white. It has not been bleached. The garlic that you see that's been scooped out and bleached, that's the one that's from China. And unfortunately, they have a lot of heavy metals. As I've read, they have a lot of heavy metals. Thank you for sharing, Diana. And the soil, which then gets into the food. So it's, yeah, Amy, isn't it great? Garlic's good. It's good for us, too. So you want to, this garlic was grown in the United States. And the reason the Chinese garlic is bleached and has the roots removed is that our FDA insists that that happen before the garlic can be brought into this country. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is they're insisting. Maybe there's a fungus or something. There's something that grows on their garlic that our government doesn't want brought here, so they have to get rid of the roots and then bleach it. So you end up with bleached garlic from. So get organic, make sure it has roots, and that it has a nice natural color and has not been bleached. Okay, so that's about garlic. So this is looking pretty good. There's my pot holder. So we have all of those. Oh, yeah, I learned about the garlic on Dr. Oz. So I think he's so informative. Dr. Oz on TV, and then there's a Dr. Mercola. M-E-R-C-O-L-A. He also has a lot of wonderful information on his website. It is kind of disturbing. At the same time, as long as you're aware of it, then you know to get the other garlic. Yeah, then you know to get the other garlic. Well, a lot of stuff is bleached. The ground beef that you find in the supermarket, that's been bleached. So, all right. Back to the one that's not organic and grass-fed and all that. And when you eat fast food, the hamburger that they use, as far as I know, in fast food restaurants has also been put through a bleaching process to kill off harmful organisms. All right, so we've got all of the olives. Sounds like olives. There are no olives in this. All of the vegetables are in here. The onion, the mushrooms, the carrot, the broccoli, the zucchini, the garlic. And now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And it's organic. I'm able to find, where's the other spatula? I'm able to find tomato products like this in glass containers instead of like a metal tube or a can, which I'm very happy about. So there's the tomato paste, a teaspoon of dried thyme. When you have dried herbs like this, you want to rub together in your hands. No, I am not vegan, and I'm not vegetarian. I am sorry if you look like you might be disappointed. No, I am not. I tend to eat more on the vegetable side, but I definitely do eat animal protein from humanely raised animals, which is very important to me for all kinds of reasons, and that, they're raised in a healthy way too, for them and for me. So with a dried thyme, you want to crush it between your hands. It's kind of like you're just, and any kind of dried herbs, and that releases the oils and makes them more flavorful. So I put the tomato paste, the thyme, and then I've got a teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper. And the salt I'm using is the pink Himalayan. Either I would use that or then a sea salt. Table salt, unfortunately, they add chemicals too, so it doesn't cake up. Plus, it doesn't have as many of the trace minerals in it as your sea salt or your Himalayan salt. So, stirring all this together, smells really good. And then we're going to set it aside so that it cools down. So see how it's looking? can you, let's see, there you go. Woo! Steamed up my glasses. Okay, I'm going to take this away from the hot burner. Let me see. I'm going to put this on the other side of the kitchen and let it cool down. Sorry. And while it's cooling down, hungry at a time to cooking. What is it time to your Florida love your periscopes? I didn't quite, I was trying to read that too quickly. Oh, I wish my skin were flawless. Makeup. I mean, my skin isn't bad, you know, but it's not flawless. All right, so the veggies. Here we go. And you can use other root vegetables. I know when Crystal does this sort of thing, she likes to use turnips and parsnips. What I have in here is carrots, red potatoes. Where are the red potatoes? Red potatoes. And two different kinds of sweet potatoes. The garnet kind, and I forget what the other one was called, but it has, I'll show you what I've got here. Here's one of the red potatoes. Skin on, absolutely skin on. And then this is the other kind of sweet potato. It had, was it a Japanese something? I forget. But just for variety. And yes, so taking all of the eyes out, right? Scooping out the eyes from the potato, scrubbing them, quartered them. And by the way, a very dear friend of mine, Therese, she's the one who did all the prep for me today of the vegetables. Bless her heart. While I was figuring out all the rest of the stuff. So she got all this stuff clean for us. So taking the eyes out, scrubbing them. Same with the carrots, scrubbing them. So I've got about, and these are kind of skinny. I would not call this an average carrot. And again, it's all organically grown. And I would say there are about 6 of these, about this much of this yam, and then the other, the garnet, not yam, sweet potato, and the garnet sweet potato was about this size, and then 6 of these. Hey Holly, how are you? I was looking at my full scope, Holly, and you were at the top of, I think you were my most frequent, consistent viewer. So thank you very much, Holly. Peas and carrots, I really appreciate that. Okay, so again, 2 different kinds of sweet potatoes and the carrots, and the reason the reason I use sweet potatoes instead of yams, which you could use, is sweet potatoes, even though they have a little bit higher sugar content, have a higher fiber content, higher protein content, and also vitamins, minerals. So overall, they have more nutrients to offer than a yam. So that's why I chose the sweet potatoes. Okay, so we've got all of this in the bowl, and to this, let me get my, let's get this recipe over here. So to all of this, I am going to add, this is about 1/3 of a cup, you know, this is kind of loose, these kind of measurements, of onions that I've chopped. And you chop them, if you like to really notice the onion, then you go ahead and chop it larger. If you have someone that would rather not chew on an onion, then you mince it. But it's for the flavor. And then I did 3 sprigs of parsley. And I think, I was going to show you, but you know, like one stem and it kind of sprigs off, maybe like there's 3 different things. So 3 of those. So 3 stems with the parsley. You can see there's quite a bit. It's about 1/2 cup of parsley. And just roughly chopped. This is 2 cloves of garlic. Yes, 2 cloves of garlic. And And again, a teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper. And sprinkle it over all. And then I'm using organic sunflower seed oil. It has a light flavor, and it can handle the higher heat because this is a bit refined. So I'm going to drizzle over 1, 2, 3, about 3 tablespoons. That might have been 4 tablespoons. And then I'm going to stir it. Just going to stir it around. Let me see if I bring it over here. I'll move the camera. Stir, stir, stir. So we get the oil mixed around and all these different delicious flavors. All right. So you see? All mixed up. Next weekend. Oh, farmers markets are great. You have the same bowl? I've had this a long time. When Draco comes over and stays with me for overnight, we make popcorn, organic popcorn, with coconut oil, Himalayan sea salt, put it in this bowl. We don't fill up the bowl, but he really likes this bowl, so we use this bowl. A blue one. I've never seen a blue one. All right, so I'm just putting all of this into a baking dish. Smoothing it out. And wipe off my hands here so they're not too oily. And this is going to go in the oven. I'm going to put it in the same time as the meatloaf because they both cook for about 45 minutes. So let's see. I'll put this over here. And let's bring back the meatloaf part of today. And this is cooled down enough that I can now come on over here and start the meatloaf. Now remember the ground rolled oats in a big bowl. How's everybody doing so far? Oh, blue hearts. I like blue hearts. Hello there, Jen. Have a wonderful weekend. Does that mean you're leaving us? Okay. All right. So we have the oats. Where am I at here? All right, and to the oats, I'm going to add, alrighty, well, bye. Oh, we have a Viking with us. Okay, so to the oats, I'm adding 2 beaten eggs. These are organic from pasture-raised chickens. And you can tell, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but the yolks are beautiful, deep color. And so we have the 2 eggs. And I'm going to add, hello, I'm in California too. Where are you in California? 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire, if I'm saying that correctly. Well, thank you, Grace. So 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire. And this is organic too. Is it Annie's, I think? Yeah. Annie's I don't know if there are other brands. Southern Cal, I'm in Southern Cal. I don't know if there are other brands that do organic, but Annie's has organic Worcestershire. So we're mixing up the Worcestershire and the eggs and the oats. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Annie's has a lot of good stuff. You do have to be careful though with Annie's stuff, because not all of it's organic. Some of it says Annie's organic and others says Annie's naturals. So I've gotten, and some of it's the exact same thing, like the salad dressings. The same flavor will be, there's the naturals version and the organic version. So, all right, so I've got that mixed, and now it's time for the meat of the meatloaf. And this is, I've mentioned this before, I got this from a butcher here. It's called Bel Campo. Their ranch is in Northern California around Mount Shasta, and they raise everything naturally pasture-raised, which is really, you know, grass-fed can mean genetically engineered alfalfa. So remember that. So you want it organic, pasture-raised, pasture-finished, you know, if you're not in San Francisco or Los Angeles, where you can go some place like Bel Campo, I mean, look for a local little butcher, or if you're out, you know, if you live in a rural area, you might find someone, you know, a small farmer or rancher there that will supply this sort of thing. Well, you know, thank you for saying I'm knowledgeable. Oh, you're still, but you know, I mean, I do my best. Organic farmers, yeah. So you look for do your best, do your best. And yes, this does cost more. This hamburger was $11 a pound, and that's a lot for a hamburger. However, I would rather eat less. You know, if I have just $11 to spend, I would rather get 1 pound of this than 2 or 3 pounds of the other stuff. I feel that, because every time you take something into your body that has, you know, extra antibiotics or pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, your body is, and the genetically engineered foods, your body is reacting to this as a poison. So your immune system, yeah, you are what you eat, and your immune system has to work harder to help you deal with all of these chemicals. And so when you, maybe it's me that you started eating, I started eating organic 40, I have to think about this. 46 years ago, 48 years ago. It's been a long, long time, a long time. And it was more challenging then, except that my mother, you know, my mother had her own garden. Hey, Lisa, my mother had her own garden. Her sister raised chickens, and we got all of our eggs, and my aunt let her chickens run around. She used to grow kale for them, and my mom and my aunt, I think they might have used a few little things, you know, to maybe kill slugs or something, but it was so little compared to, I should show you what I'm doing. I'm so talking. So little compared to what's happening to our food now. So I'm just putting this in, and I'm going to, this can be the fun part, going to use my hands. Okay, Mary, that's Portuguese for you. Yeah, my aunt also, she also raised a pig once or twice a year, and that's where we got our pork. And the lard that my mother used to, you know, the rendered fat from to do the, that was the fat that she used to make pie crust, which was delicious. So it came from an animal that was treated humanely and you know, lived a good life up until the end, and was fed well. You know, was fed good natural stuff. All right, now I'm going to add all of these vegetables. So you see how much meat there is? You see that? And now I'm going to pile in these vegetables. And in case you're concerned about cross-contamination in my kitchen, I want to reassure you I'm very aware of the fact that I have raw meat all over my hands right now. And I will handle things accordingly. So, can you see how much vegetables there are in here? Right? That's a lot more than your average meatloaf. I would say this is going to mean that a good, it's probably a ratio of 2 parts meat, 1 part vegetables. You are the low. Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, Jen. Yes. You know, there's a circle of life and all of that. And you know, we feed organisms with our bodies after we pass on, or if you're cremated, maybe you're going to be, you know, helping a tree, or and we consume while we're alive, but there's no reason to be cruel about it. No reason to be cruel about it. I don't, you know. So anyway, so I'm mixing this really well. really well. I wish the camera had a wider range. I don't want to touch it now because of my hands. Now I'm going to take this mixture, and I don't know any other way to get it this well mixed except with your hands. And I'm going to put it into a glass baking pan. To fundraiser, Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is trying to get organic farmers to what? All can enjoy. I didn't quite get all of that, Lisa. That sounds really interesting. I would like to know. Okay, so now I'm going to shake this meatloaf. Here we go. You can see it's in this pan. And I'm going to make it so that it's a nice rectangle. And it's going to be about 5 or 6 inches wide and 2 inches high. And it's pretty much filling this pan. I think this pan is 9 by 13. So this is what I've done. I'm going to kind of pat the top so things don't slide off it so easily. And on top, I am putting a mixture of a half a teaspoon of Worcestershire, a half a cup of ketchup, it's organic ketchup, and a 1/4 cup of water. And so this is my topping. I hear some kids outside. Can you guys hear the kids outside? And if it goes over the side, that's fine. Okay. So now, supper time. This is going to be good, yeah. You know, the ketchup on the meatloaf thing, it's for flavor, it's for sweetness, it's for moisture. Especially, you know, meatloaf that doesn't have all the vegetables in it like this, it's going to be drier. So excuse me while I very quickly wash my hands. Important to do. We don't want to get our kitchens contaminated, right? Even though the meat's going to get cooked, if you get any of it on something you're going to eat raw, then you could get sick, and that's not good. All right. Sorry about that. Grace, you're back. So we've got these ready, and now I'm going to put it in the oven, and they're just going to go in side by side. So my meatloaf is going in, and then right next to that are the vegetables. 350, setting a timer for 45 minutes. It could take an hour. Oops, top, what? What, Lisa? Potatoes, carrots, and sweet potatoes. It was red potatoes, carrots, and sweet potatoes, everything with its peel on. Oh, thank you. This was my mom's. This top was my mom's. I have a few items of her clothing. Oh my goodness, Grace. Wow. You could use this meatloaf then, couldn't you? I was going to show you, where did I put? Oh no. Oh, here it is. Right here. This thermometer. This is what I use to test for doneness for meat. And for the meatloaf, you want to make sure you go into the thickest part, maybe even go at an angle so you get more of the tip into the meat, and it should be 160 degrees, at least 160 degrees. If you decide to do the 350 oven, if you decide to use ground chicken or ground turkey for part of it, then you're going to want the temperature to be at least 165. So, Randy Frolic Racing. Yes, I will post both recipes. Whole 30. What is Whole 30, Grace? Well, this isn't a family recipe. Well, I guess it is. It's coming from me now, so I'm your family, Lisa. Yes, right. Yeah. So as I was saying earlier, I found this meatloaf recipe online. I wanted to find a meatloaf recipe that used oats instead of wheat. And yeah, Trish, leftover meatloaf is great. Oh, it's a diet. Okay, Grace. And then I, as usual, played with it a little bit, and then Danica asked if I could add more vegetables to it, and so I did. I again played with it so it would be the right consistency. Now this meatloaf will be moist, very moist, and it won't be like some meatloaves where you cut it and everything just stays perfectly together because of all the vegetables in it. And so it's a little looser in that way, and it tastes delicious. It really tastes delicious. So I always keep some in my freezer, because this is one of the, if not the favorite thing I make that Draco likes, for Draco. And so I always have it in individual. Yeah, it's more of a crumbling meatloaf. It's not going to be like a brick. Oh, we're not going to talk for the next 45 minutes, Andrew. But I'll post a picture. Do you guys want me to post a picture of the finished product? Because I can do that along with the recipes. So, any last questions before I sign off? Okay, Jen, I will. Yes, Lisa, I will. Yes, Holly, I will. And Trish? Yes. And Mimi? Yeah. So anyone have plans for the weekend? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I'm going to spend it with family, and I'm taking a Reiki class. I've taken Reiki 1, and now I'm going to take Reiki 2. Learn a little bit more advanced Reiki. Reiki, I think some people say Reiki, but it's Reiki, R-E-I-K-I. So I'm going to be, oh my goodness, Mimi, well, get well, be well. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, and I'll be seeing family. Ooh, Revenant. I don't think I could handle that, Holly. I'm a real Lisa, are you gonna make this meatloaf? Ooh, barbecue and okay. That sounds like fun, Diana, and probably delicious too. Okay, Lisa, well, send me a picture of your meatloaf on Facebook so I can see it. Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, I think we are done for today. And like I said, I did 2 recipes today because I won't be doing Pure Foods Friday next Friday because I will be vacationing with my children and grandchildren. A gift from them to me for Mother's Day. So I'll probably scope along the way, but it won't be, you already know what I do when I travel, right? Because I did that last week, so. All right, well, thank you so much, and I'll see at least some of you on Tuesday. And thank you. What is this? Oh, Lisa and Mike, your 21st wedding anniversary. Oh, congratulations. That's a long time. That's a long time. All right, everyone. Mwah. Bye-bye.